Hey guys, Thomas Cecilia Jr. here, aka Mustached Tom, here to review Pup 2 No Good. Why no good? I don't know. After watching this entire movie, that really doesn't get answered, and there are quite a few other weird things in this sort of episodic movie, and that's sort of what this is a series of little episodes, I guess, geared towards children to try to teach them stuff about, being better or whatever. So we have this little dog, Kuroto, and a bigger dog. I'll just call Bigger Dog because I don't remember his name. They're there in this little farm, and they get picked, and they get brought over a new sheep. His name is Blackie, and she sort of lives with them, and she's like doing all these different things. And the first episode is pretty much about her introducing herself and the other introducing the other characters in a pretty uh, uninteresting way, where the edits are really just sort of way too fast. Like, we get to learn about the duck and how he has to like steal a newspaper in order to use the restroom, and later on we see that he changes his reasons and wants to just do it just to be victorious or whatever. um, Within even the first episode, we see that Blackie changes her mind quite a bit. But when she does decide to stay, we get the rest of the episodes, and each episode is sort of ended with this butterfly character sort of retelling the message of the episode, and then sort of fading into the next event. And in the second part, uh, episode, Blackie steals this toy that the main big dog has because he's being too aggressive, is being too in charge, I guess. So she steals it, and she wants to teach him a lesson. And in episode 3, she sees a crashed ship, which they considered a UFO, and she's sort of scared to go there. And with the help of the other cast and crew, which include a horse that doesn't know he's a horse, and a cow that does the morning chicken call sort of deal, are also along for the ride. And they help her get to the ship, as long as these three other sheep that are like these drama sheep. Um, and they sort of just have their adventures. Episode 4 deals with her being sick, and the main character, once again Kuruto, trying to help her, trying to get her checked up on. And he sort of gets the other sheep to help get the doctor to her. Episode 5, we get a bunch of stuff happening, and I don't really remember the message of episode 5 because there was a lot going on here. At this point, we had her doing math because there's some competition thing. We had the horse doing this contest. The cow that does the mooing at the morning wants to become a teacher, and she doesn't feel like she's being taken seriously at some point. And you get this other bird character who sort of guides the other characters as well. He's sort of like this anchor, and he uses quite a few big words at that point, I believe. I don't remember all the words he uses. I just remember them being pretty big words, just to point that out. Episode 6 deals with them wanting, or Blackie once again, not wanting any rules. She goes toward the ship again. She sort of got accustomed to that ship, and sort of just claimed that as her own place and wanted no rules. And the others came at her with like how it would be if no one had any rules, and how rules are necessary. Episode 7 and 8 are sort of feel a bit connected, as we see that the 2 week period of Blackie being there is apparently up, which they flash back to, and they tell us that since the owners saw her riding a motorcycle, she's going to be kicked out. And Lil Wolf, from one of the previous episodes, when they first see the UFO, there's this wolf character it sort of has this one bit at that point, and then he sort of returns at this point, uh, pretty much to help her. The wolf is actually a nice character, apparently, and he has to tell the dog about what's going on, and then we see Kuruto sort of confront her, and he's his determination, and she finally feels comfortable with letting him know what's going on. She kisses him, and then he suddenly falls in love with her because shipping. Uh, okay, who am I to say that a sheep and a dog can't fall in love, right? So he's in love now, and they continue to try to help her out. They have this old complicated plan about doing a bunch of stuff, and they start singing the song over and over again. They sing it like 6 times, unfortunately, and it gets a bit too repetitive. And they're doing all this stuff, like trying to get this guy to leave and trying to get her, the owners, to see that she's a good sheep, and then they change it into the wolf eats her. I don't know why that would end that way, because they'd probably just find out that she was still there. And the last part, we actually see her, that the other owners are also out of money at the last episode, so they have to sort of work together to do that. And they bring them toward the ship, and when they are at the ship, they are celebrating because they found this thing. They send it back up uh, to wherever it came from, I guess. So apparently, Blackie was still on the ship, and we see that Kuruto misses her, and then he's like on the roof of the barn, and then somehow, some way, she appears behind him, and they do their thing, they kiss or whatever, and they all live happily after apparently. Um, I mean, this movie is definitely not for someone like me. Um, Even though there were some fascinating, oh well, close to almost fascinating thing, like some of the dialogue again with those big words being used. There was this loose thread that they sort of try to keep throughout, I guess. Um, some elements like the whole romance part of it just sort of comes out of nowhere near the end. I think it's just to make everyone happy or whatever. I don't know. Um, so I'm actually gonna give this movie an innocent 5 out of 10. I think that's fair enough. I mean, it looks okay enough, and I guess it's not offensively bad in any way, shape, or form. So, with that being said, I'm Thomas Cecilia Jr., aka Mustache Tom, and I'll see you guys next time.